Hi, everybody, and welcome to Loi Divine. So, the question today is everybody was talking, it's been already 2 weeks. Everybody was talking about what's the reason? Why did all this come on us? This gzerot kashot, difficult times when the Hamas came into our land and they killed people in ways we have never seen before from the Shoah. And they kidnapped people. And why does all this come on us now? And everybody is doesn't know what why all this is falling on us. And you have these people who have been kidnapped and difficult images, and I'm not going to show you. Just remember what's written here: 3 generations of the Bibas Silverman family. And you have some popular rabbis that speak a lot, and they don't tell us what we have to correct in our ways in order to protect our people regarding God, in our conduct regarding God. Don't tell us what to do, what we have to correct. Just tell us we have to be united, we have to be strong, and כוחנו ועוצם ידינו יעשו לנו את ההצלחה הזאת ואת הניצחון. With our force and our strength, we will succeed. Just act as if you're united. And you have some better rabbis, real rabbis, that are in contact with the Mekubalim, and they tell us this. This is Rabbi Benayahu Shmueli, and he is telling us that the Mekubalim, they asked from the skies, from the Gan Eden, what's the reason of what's happening to us? And the answer was this verse, Hakizona Yaseh Tachotenu, which was written regarding Dinah that was kidnapped from the sons of Jacob by Shem, son of Hamor, and Shimon and Levi told to Jacob, Hakezona Yaseh Achotenu, will our sister be considered abandoned, and that everybody can take her? And he says to us, this reveals that reason is tzniut, is we have to dress modestly. And that's a big lacking in Israel right now. And there is a big influence of all the peoples of the earth that dress lesser and lesser, less and less. And of not Israel, the the young women and the older women of Israel are very much influenced by this, and they think it's okay to dress like all the people, and they make concessions with halacha, and we shorten a little bit the chatzait, and we show a little bit more here, a little bit more there. It's okay. We'll find some rabbi that will allow us that. And it's not okay. And it's bringing a lot of bad decrees from the skies on us. Now, we could ask the question, why nobody mentioned the what is done regarding the fathers in Israel that are getting divorced, and even those who are not fathers. But it's more true for the fathers who have children. Let's see how all this situation, what are the numbers regarding the situation of divorces in Israel right now. So you have 5.3 on 100 that are getting married, and you have regarding the divorce rate 1.8, which is approximately a third, a third of people getting married or getting divorced. So we have third of people getting married that are getting divorced, and you have another number here, לפי נתוני הלמ"ס, 47%, almost half of the married people are getting divorced. Choose your number anyway, it's a big percentage, and uh, we cannot hide from it. We cannot act like an ostrich. And this is the number in absolute number. It's 12,000 per year, which means uh, 24,000 people, because it's every couple, two people, so 24,000 people every year in Israel are getting divorced. Now, when people are getting divorced, what's happening? We know that in Israel there are a lot of men that are terminating themselves, and you'll understand me because we are on YouTube and we can't say whatever we want. But they terminate themselves in a greater percentage than women. You see, a woman, it's a little bit less than 100 a year, like 80, and men, it's between 250 and 400. And we don't count here people that have a car accident, that maybe they had the car accident because they wanted to terminate themselves. So maybe it's a little bit more because some people go to other statistics. Anyway, it's a big number. It's 3 to 4 times number of women that are that terminate themselves. So men have a harsher life, and the question is, why do they terminate themselves? And we see that here it's the men that are married that terminate themselves, so it's 8.6 a year. And here it's number of divorced men that are getting terminate themselves, so it's 35.6. So it's 4 to 5 times more. They terminate themselves when they are divorced. So the divorce is clearly a cause of self-termination here in Israel. Some people will tell you that it's not linked because it depends on the age, but it's all a big bluff and non-consideration for the reality of the things. Now, when men get divorced, sometimes they self-terminate, and sometimes they don't. Anyway, the kids need to be sent to one parent because considering that the kids have the right to see both of their parents in the same proportion, this is non-heard from the beginning of times in Israel. Even though you have some countries like Sweden, Finland, and Norway who are doing that, there is no Masonois, there is no um, uh, um, child how do you say help for financial aid for, because the other parent have the child in these countries, and therefore there is no war between the parents in these countries. But in Israel, it's like heresy if you say such a thing. You have to give the children to one parent, and which parent is better to take the children than the mother? Because anyway, we have a big deep state and a big lobby of feminists in Israel at the Knesset and in the deep state. Like said this Chaverat Knesset, Tali Gottlieb, who is fighting for the rights of the fathers, and now she's at the government, and she did this vada for the regarding the discrimination neged the fathers in the social workers in Israel. And it's very interesting to see the whole video, but we won't do it now. But anyway, this tells you one thing. The children will be given to the mother, and she will be given every right to humiliate the father, to not respect the um, the decision of the judge regarding the rights of the father when he is given some, and she can do pretty much whatever she wants. And the kids are kidnapped from the fathers. So we have now seen killing of fathers. If you remember, we have seen killing of fathers. We have seen kidnapping of children in Israel. And there is a third thing that I want to bring to your attention, and that is the rule of the Torah regarding the divorce. האישה יוצאת לרצונה ושלא לרצונה, והאיש אינו מוציא לה לרצונו. A man can divorce his wife if he wants, and a woman is divorced if she wants, and even if she doesn't want. So everything depends on the will of the man. Now, before 1,000 years, there is Rabbeinu Gershon Moragola, who did a new law that you cannot divorce a woman without her agreement. But that's not the rule of the Torah. Anyways, in Talmud Yebamot, Ayin Het, so it's page 78, folio B, you have a lot of discussion regarding can the illegitimate children, and what is an illegitimate child? Regarding the law of the Torah, it's a child that was born from a woman who was married, and she had that child with another man. And the translation is from another man, mi zar, from a man who is not known. And therefore the children will be illegitimate. And the discussion is, until which generation do you consider they're illegitimate? That's the starting of the discussion. After 10 generations, they stop being illegitimate, but we have said that the children illegitimate, their offspring will be illegitimate until the end of the world. So there is not such a thing. So what is he telling this Resh Lakish after 10 generations? So they explain that the illegitimate children, God is taking them out of the world. He is terminating them. But then why do you discuss about the generation? There is this rabbi that told 3 generations. The explanation is, if we know they're illegitimate and we make sure that nobody that is legitimate marries them, then they can live for a long time, for any pretty much any generations you want. But if people don't know that are illegitimate and they might get married with them, then God make them disappear from the world, from this world. And if we know a little bit and we don't know a little bit, we're not sure if they're illegitimate, after 3 generations, people already forgot that there was a doubt about their legitimacy, and they want to make sure that to not marry them, so God will take them out of the world. So this means that if they survive 10 generations, there is a presumption that at the beginning they were not illegitimate because they couldn't have survived such a long time without dying, all of them. So that's the conclusion of the Gemara here, of the Talmud, that illegitimate children, they has to God will make sure they will disappear from the world. Now, what's the link with that we have said before? A man divorces, repudiates his woman, his wife, on his own will. And we know now that the Rabbanut, the Rabbonim, the rabbis that work for the state of Israel, and it's forced in Israel to make all the divorces go their way. You cannot go to a private Beit Din. You have to go to the Beit Din, to the rabbinical courts of the states. And they don't judge regarding the laws of the Torah. They violate the Torah anytime, and they don't have the possibility to judge in accord to the laws of the Torah, because there are so much rules from the state to make sure how they will rule the case and what they're allowed to judge and what they're not allowed to judge, that it violates all the laws of the Torah, and they don't have the possibility to judge according to the Torah. And that's for the good ones. And the bad ones, they don't care anyway. And they will violate the Torah here and there, and they will turn upside down this law, and they will make sure a woman can divorce her husband on her will, and the husband will get divorced if he wants, and even if he doesn't want. And now that you know that the divorce paper, it's not just a paper, it's a paper that must have some spirituality. It needs the will of the man, the will of the husband. And if there is no will of the husband inserted in this paper, it's just a useless paper. So whether you believe in God and you want the paper to be in accord with God, and you want the will of the husband, whether you don't care, and then why would you need a paper that doesn't is not worth anything? So most of the 999, we will say, get in divorce paper given by the rabbinical court of the state here in Israel are not kosher. So that means that the woman is still married to her first husband, and if she gets remarried, then she will be that will be adultery, and every time she goes with her second husband, so-called second husband, and her children from second marriage, they will all be illegitimate regarding God, in the eyes of God. It doesn't matter what society thinks of them. It does just matter what God sees. If the law was respected, and given that the rabbinical court doesn't respect the law anytime, and all the gittin they give are non-cash kosher, then all these children will be mamzerim. That's the word in Hebrew for illegitimate children, and God will get rid of them. And he will maybe give them 3 generations and then get rid of them. So you have these 3 things that we have told. The state of Israel kills husband and fathers in the process of divorce here in this land. And we have seen that you have 12,000 men getting divorced every year here in Israel. Now you have the children that are kidnapped from the father by the mother, and the state of Israel that is giving a state legitimacy to this kidnapping, and you have all these mamzerim, illegitimate children, that God has to get rid of, and people are asking, why does this come on us? Jewish people kidnapped, Jewish people that were terminated. How can this come on us? And no rabbi has the guts to tell the people the truth. And there is also another truth, is that most of them don't know what is done at these rabbinical courts. of the state, so-called rabbinical, because there is nothing rabbinical at these courts. These rabbis were not elected by the majority of the religious people. They were not chosen by the parties, by the two people that get judged, because it's a right you have in the Torah if you are called by rabbinical courts to say, I don't want this judge, I want another judge, I want another court. You have the right to choose your court, and if you don't agree, everyone, each of them, chooses a judge, and the two judges choose a third one, and they get judged. But here you don't have this right. You don't have any right when you're a father in Israel, when you're a man. You don't have any right in the rabbinical court. The only right you have is to give the gets, and it's pretty much an obligation. And if it's not right now, when you get in the rabbinical courts, it will become one. Because in Jewish law, you have the right to say, okay, I will give her her get, but I want this and that and that. I'm not the one breaking the marriage. She wants to. So if she wants, she has to agree to my conditions. It's his right. There is nothing wrong about that. So that's all I wanted to say for today. It's the first time to me that I make a video in English. So please press the subscribe button and give me a thumb up and share this video. Thank you very much.
אגיד לכם, אני חושב על ירושלים עיר הקודש, אני חולם על המשיח שיבוא, אני חושב על ירושלים עיר הקודש